We are a country of immigrants. See,
No, we're not. No.
This video is solely to spread awareness on the United States and the expression nation of immigrants.
We're a country of settlers, not of immigrants.
Okay.
Please watch the full video to understand the concept of country of immigrants, because it seems Americans seem to forget.
That's a big distinction. Let me tell you the difference. Settlers are people that build a new country that was barren. Immigrants come to a country already built.
We are, one and all, immigrants, or the sons and daughters.
We are the descendants of 40 million people who left other countries to make a new opportunity for themselves and their children.
The lamp of this grand old lady is brighter today, and the golden door that she guards gleams more brilliantly in the light of an increased liberty for the people from all countries.
I'm convinced that the vast majority of Americans today want these people to have another opportunity.
Ours is a party that welcomes generations of immigrants.
If we ever closed the door to new Americans, our leadership in the world would soon be lost.
Immigration is not just a link to America's past. It's also a bridge to America's future.
This is one country. We like our diversity. We are proud of it.
Amid all the complications of policy, may we never forget that immigration is a blessing and a strength.
These people, our neighbors, our classmates, our friends, they did not come here in search of a free ride or an easy life. They came to work.
We don't demonize immigrants. We don't single them out for attacks. We don't believe they're poisoning the blood of the country. We're a nation of immigrants, and that's why we're so damn strong.
A Donald Trump presidency, we will finally evict all of these illegal aliens that are coming here and stealing jobs from Americans. If you break into my house, should I just accept you because you washed my dishes and made my beds? I say no. I say you need to go back and come back in the right way.
So is that what the Indians should have told white Americans?
Absolutely. Ask Cochise if border control is important.
Because the original illegal alien are European white folk in America.
Agreed.
And so should the Indians stand up today and say deport all white folks back to Europe?
Well, should we learn something from their mistake? Because we are here now.
Or should you learn something from their compassion to give other people an opportunity like was given to you and your ancestors? Learn from their compassion. That's what you should learn from.
I say learn from their mistakes. Ask Geronimo if taking care of your borders is important. We need to do that now.
And I agree with Cochise, Geronimo, and Sitting Bull. Letting in the white man was the worst mistake that the Indians ever could have made. I agree with you. That was one of the greatest mistakes. Even right there in South Africa, they got a similar problem.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are doing amazing. Thank you so much for clicking on this episode. I really do appreciate your love and support on this channel. So I just happened to come across this video of this man who was trying to talk some sense to some European Americans who believe that they are not illegal immigrants in the United States of America, with, you know, the current history that is happening and everything that is happening in the United States of America about the mass deportation of illegal immigrants. And so many people are like, yeah, let's deport them. These people are just, you know, crossing the border illegally, coming, staying here and benefiting from our taxpayers' money. And most of them are not happy about this. So we all know that before the 1942, the American land was alive with nations, over 500 of them, each with their own history, government, and history. And then the ships came. These people brought their own flags, weapons, and a false sense of entitlement. They claimed the land and erased its people. And this history is not so much talked about, and most, when you touch in such a topic, as you'll be seeing on our today's video, them being told of what their ancestors did, to them it's quite sensitive and they don't love talking about it. They rewrote the story to make themselves look heroes, but history always has a way of reminding us the truth, no matter how much you try to bury it. I want us to watch these videos together, guys. And I would really love to know what's your take or what's your thought on these, especially if you are a European American watching these. I'd really love to know what's your take on these, and what or where do you stand when it comes to the deportation of illegal immigrants. So every clip and every stitch that you'll be seeing on our today's episode, credits belongs to the original creators of these videos that you're seeing on your screen. So let's just dive right ahead and we'll come back with more commentary.
I think this is a fantastic law. It is time to start enforcing the laws that are on the books instead of the state and local officials legislating from their own little tiny offices.
It's an awful law because it's nothing more than a legal way for law enforcement to racially profile Mexicans and Hispanics. I would say to the Hispanic and Mexican community, what you got to do now, hook up with the black community and unite in political power, because if Mexicans and black people unite in Texas, we can control the governor, we can control the lieutenant governor, and we can control politics in Texas, period. I'm saying to Latino brothers and sisters, don't fight them by yourself. If you hook up with black people and we unite, I'm telling you, we can run Texas and then pass laws to deal with those who hate us.
You're advocating for criminal activity, Quanell. These people are not here lawfully. They need to do what our ancestors did, what many Mexicans have done.
Well, no, wait a minute.
Many, don't interrupt me.
Your ancestors came here illegally. Wasn't nothing legal about your ancestors. They came illegally and they murdered, they raped, they pillaged a whole race of people. This country, Texas, Arizona, and California, belonged to the Mexicans.
Quanell, get back
it was stole from them.
You tell me to get back to the point.
They came here illegally.
No, you're not being fair to me here. You say stay on topic. I say, okay, we'll stay on topic. And then as soon as we start talking about illegal immigration, you go back to the black issue. Let's stay on topic.
Your ancestors are the master illegal immigrants.
Give me the opportunity to respond in that, you know what, we're all Americans here. And if you are here legally, absolutely, then we need to come together and we need to pass good laws for enforcing the law.
Well, perhaps the Native Americans should have passed laws against your ancestors.
We are a nation of immigrants. This country was not built by immigrants. This country was built by settlers who came here and built this country from nothing. There is a big difference between being a settler and being an immigrant who comes to a developed country to sign up for all sorts of benefits. Well, what about the Ellis Island immigrants? Those immigrants were legal. Second of all, those immigrants were not getting all the welfare benefits that we give to immigrants today. The welfare state as we know it today did not exist. So the immigrants coming through Ellis Island in the early 20th century only came here if they were confident that they could support themselves, that they could contribute. Whereas today, illegal immigrants on average cost our government around $68,000 each over a lifetime. That is, they are on average taking out $68,000 more in benefits than they are paying in taxes. So I'm tired of all this mental gymnastics of trashing this country, yet at the same time advocating for more immigration here. If this country is so terrible, then why are you doing all sorts of mental gymnastics to justify endless immigration here? We are a nation of immigrants. This country was not built by immigrants. This country was built by settlers who came here and built this country from nothing.
Because crossing borders is only heroic when white people do it. I hate to break it to you, Settler Dan, but your ancestors, and mine too, were the original illegal aliens. What do you call white people who cross the ocean, show up uninvited to land already inhabited by indigenous people who have lived there for thousands of years, and then destroy their cultures, their languages, their religion, and impose your own? Settlers, or rather, colonizers. And then what do you call people of color who cross the border, work jobs that nobody else wants to work, pay taxes, and try to build a life in the so-called land of opportunity? Illegals. Illegal aliens. Criminals. If you're white, it's exploration. You're a pioneer. You're a settler. And if you're not, you're an invader. And for the record, it wasn't the colonizers that built the United States. It was the immigrants that came after them from every corner of the globe. They built the railroads, the roads, the factories, the farms. They built the United States.
Where are all the white undocumented people being deported? You think we don't have Canadians, Northern European, British people? They are here just as illegally as anybody else. They are also committing crimes. This is racism. If you don't see that, I don't know what to tell you.
Settlers and immigrants are two different things. Settlers come to a barren land and build something new. Immigrants.
Couple things. First of all, they weren't settlers, they were colonizers. Second of all, what is this barren land you're talking about? So no, you're not talking about this country. There were definitely people here. Just because they weren't white does not change that fact.
We are a country of immigrants. See,
No, we're not. No. We're a country of settlers, not of immigrants.
Okay.
That's a big distinction. Let me tell you the difference. Settlers are people that build a new country that was barren. Immigrants come to a country already built. The people who built this country, they went west to an unconquered, barren country and built a new society. Immigrants helped enrich it. They helped grow it upon that. But the foundation of America were settlers, not immigrants.
So I went on, I did a bit of research, and I wanted to know the first illegal immigrants in America. And they are the same people who like throwing around the term illegal immigrants. And if you're actually being honest, the first people who came to America without permission were European illegal immigrants, and they want to term themselves as settlers, because if you have to call yourself a settler, or if you want to be termed as a settler, for you to settle in someone's place, they have to allow you or give you permission to be or to settle in that place. And in this case, back in that day, and these people were never given permission by the Native Americans. They stole the entire continent and committed atrocities that changed it forever till to date. So before the 1492, the American land was not empty, and it did need anyone to discover it because it was already there and people were already there. So when Columbus in 1492, who never set foot in what we actually now call today the United States of America, he opened the door to invasion. The English, French, Spanish, and Dutch followed. They didn't ask permission from the Native America. They didn't get visas, as most of you are requiring these illegal immigrants to go back to their countries to get visas and come back to the country the right way. They used the so-called the doctrine of discovery, a European law that claimed that any land not ruled by Europeans was empty, and this is what they simply did. And this is why you actually hear most of them now today, with the history that they've learned, saying that they came to America, it was a barren land, built it to what it is today. And they don't even want to mention that there were already people there, and the land was already thriving with different people that had their own cultures, and they erased all that. But always remember, history has a way of reminding us the truth. No matter how much we try to hide the truth, no matter how much we try to bury the truth, there will always be that thing that will always remind us of history. So we also get to learn that from then, they signed treaties when it only benefited them, and then broke them when they wanted more. Like the US government signed over 500 treaties with native nations and broke every single one of them. Whole communities were pushed from their lands. Like the example that I got is like the Cherokee on the Trail of Tears. I hope I'm pronouncing the words right. Walking hundreds of miles in the dead of winter, thousands dying along the way. And when I look at what's happening with the current illegal or the mass deportation of illegal immigrants, I'm kind of seeing history repeating itself, and these people trying to do what their ancestors did in the past. And the reason as to why I'm saying this is that I've come across videos where people are explaining how illegal immigrants are actually living or surviving in these detention centers or detention camps that have been put there by the United States of American government to hold these illegal immigrants. Some are going days without having shower, some are going days without proper care, some are going days without food, which is quite sad. And what's the difference of being held at a place, no food, no water, no care that is needed for a human being to survive, with you letting people walk hundreds of miles in the dead of winter, thousands dying along the way. And this might be the case soon if they don't take care of those people who are actually detained at the detention centers, which is quite sad seeing this happening in today's world in America. This is a country that is always caring and giving aid to other people. outside America. But what about those people that you're calling illegal immigrants who actually come there and work for themselves? You want to detain them. You want to, have them work for free, and you want to claim to be a democratic country. Honestly, everything that is happening isn't making sense to me, even to so many other people that are actually watching what's happening in today's American world. Even when we talk about what happened back in those days, the genocide and the atrocities that they committed, whatever they did wasn't just land theft, it was a genocide. Like, for example, at Sand Creek in 1864, US military unalived over 150 Cheyenne and Arapaho, mostly women and children, despite a promise of protection at Wounded Knee in 1890. Over 250 lactose Sioux were gunned down and their bodies left frozen in the snow. Every time that I keep on learning more about history and whatever happened in the past, and now seeing what's happening right now, it's more of like history is trying to find a way of repeating itself, because so many people are actually ignoring what happened in the past, and so many people are like, we did not do that, those were our ancestors that did that. But what about what's happening today? We also get to learn that the army wiped out buffalo herds, a main food source, to starve native people into submission. When you look at how people are being detained at these detention centers, what's the difference of you starving them and back in that day, and you having them at a detention center, not feeding them right, not giving everything they want, and now you wanna come here and saying that you want farmers to be responsible for these people so that they work for them for free, or I don't know, because I really don't understand. Why don't you just then send them to their countries rather than, detaining them? You already have them. Just force them in a flight and send them back to where they came from, their countries, rather than having them at a detention center and having them suffer. To me, it does not really make sense. Why would you be holding them there at a detention center when you don't have a plan for them? There must be a plan for them, honestly, guys, which is quite sad, because now there will be no difference as, forcing people as they did in the 1890 to force them into submission, to have them work for free or minimal wage, or maybe in just exchange of their freedom, which is quite sad. I don't know what you all think about this topic, because there is a lot that we can talk about the first illegal immigrants in the United States of America, whatever happened. And there is a lot that people should, get to learn about this, especially those people who keep on claiming that we are not our ancestors. Like this lady kept on telling this man, let's go back to the main topic, when this man touched on talking about the the atrocities their ancestors committed. And the saddest part about this is that most people don't want to be held accountable. Most of them lack accountability, which is actually the cause of what America is today. When you don't want to be accountable, or when you don't want to learn of, how you can stop of the things that happened in the past, you tend to repeat whatever was done in the past by your ancestors, or maybe whatever was done in the past by other people. And this is why people should always learn about history, because history being taught is not about making people feel guilty. It's just a way of making sure that this history does not repeat itself. I don't know what you all think about today's episode, guys. There is a lot that I had researched, but realized that I cannot manage to put it all in one video. But I'd really love to know what your take on this, especially if you're European American. What's your take on the mass deportation of illegal immigrants, on what's happening today, and even what's your take on them being detained at detention centers or some camp sites that have been put there for the illegal immigrants? Let me know what your take or what's your thoughts on the comment section. Thank you so much for watching up to this part, and until the next episode, bye.